Confusion depending where you come from for British holidaymakers there.
Yeah, very much so. If you're heading back to Wales, you'll be forced to quarantine, and those travellers haven't been given any option to get out, not even a day or two's grace. The restrictions come into force at 4 a.m. Tomorrow morning, so effectively anyone on holiday here today who's heading back to Wales knows that they will have to self-quarantine, and that obviously is going to be a great frustration. But England decided otherwise, which I guess has come as a bit of a surprise to people, considering that very many more tourists come to Portugal from England than they do Wales. The UK government, which makes the decisions for England, has decided that for the moment Portugal can stay on the safe travel list. Now, you might imagine that those who are here, who are returning to England, will be breathing a sigh of relief. Certainly many of them that we spoke to on the beach were, but there are still some people who are very, very unhappy because the fear that quarantine was going to come in, and that was very much the expectation during the course of the week, prompted many people, many tourists, to head back to England early. Many of them we spoke to had paid an absolute fortune to get on planes. You know, the seats on planes were very hard to get, and families were split up. We spoke to several families today where dad and the sons went home and the mum and the daughter are here. We spoke to another gentleman whose brother had gone back early because he couldn't miss work on Monday, and his wife and his son actually didn't travel out today because they feared quarantine was going to come into place. And you can only imagine now how people who rushed back to England or have booked their tickets, say, for tomorrow to preempt any quarantine, are going to be feeling, because there is no quarantine that's going to be put in place. So I think there will be a great deal of frustration. And I think a lot of people will be asking how different governments can come to such different conclusions. What is it that forced the Welsh government into saying there needs to be a quarantine in relation to Portugal, but didn't make the UK government for England follow suit? Yeah, as I say, frustration, but I imagine some people who were heading back to Wales or are back in Wales will be feeling relieved that they got out before the quarantine.